picture of him. Now, when I tell you about this man, it's going to be some gaps in here because it was a lot about him, a lot he accomplished. So you see the gaps, that's because I didn't write it all because my sharing life would be too long. But Carla G. Woodson was born on Carla Goodwin Woodson, born December 19, 1875, and died April 5, 1950, at the age of 74, known as the father of Black history. The facts about him: he was born a former slave. He started high school at the age of 20, and he was the second African American to earn a doctorate from Harvard. We all know the first man was Du Bois. Okay, the son of former slaves who worked and fought their way to freedom. Woodson did not let the persecution and obstacles he faced throughout his life stop him from becoming the esteemed, groundbreaking historian who found Negro history, which today is known as Black History Month. Woodson's parents owned a 10-acre tobacco farm in Virginia, but he and his brothers helped on the farm. They attended school 4 months out of the year, where their uncles taught them. And through self-instruction, Woodson mastered the fundamentals of education, all educational school subjects at the age of 17. The Freedmen Bureau for Freedmen was an agency created to facilitate the inclusion of former slaves into society and provide relief to them that was affected by the law, and established a one-room schoolhouse for them. Woodson learned to read using the Bible in school and read his father's newspaper when they could afford to buy it. His father couldn't read or write, but he taught Woodson the importance of pride, integrity, and standing up for himself against the efforts of people to control him and belittle him because he was Black. When he was 20 years old, he enrolled at Frederick Douglass High School in Virginia. It was the only Black school in the area. He graduated in 2 years and went on to Berea College in Kentucky, an integrated university. For the first time in his life, he lived and worked with white people. After he graduated in 1903, he taught in the Philippines and the Middle East, and he also studied in Paris. When he returned to the United States, he attended the University of Chicago and received his second bachelor's degree and master's in European history. That fall, he became a doctoral student in history at Harvard and earned his PhD in 1912. Dr. Woodson wanted to spread knowledge of Black history to students of all ages, not just the Black students. In 1926, he encouraged the study of African American history, which began in February with Negro History Week. The program later expanded and renamed Black History Month. He chose February to honor the birth of Frederick Douglass and President Abraham Lincoln. Dr. Woodson died April 3, 1950, a respected and honored figure who received accolades for his visions. His legacy continues with Black History Month, being a national cultural force recognized by organizations and educational institutions.
Good morning. This morning's reading is from Philippians 4, verse 8. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things.
We have a very practical verse this morning to consider, coming to us from the Apostle Paul. as he writes to the church at Philippi. When I was in the Philippines for several years, I learned a word called, you'll have to correct me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, chismas. She's looking like,
What? Is that a word?
doesn't know what it is. But anyway, it's our equivalent to gossip.
Chismis.
Chismis. Isn't that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you said chismas. Chismis.
Chismis,
Chismis.
meaning gossip. And sometimes gossip is the favorite pastime of our conversations, and we all want to be in the know, in the latest of what people are saying. But I was thinking, as we move into this new year of 2022, which is already in its second month, believe it or not, that if we could apply this one verse to our everyday behavior, what a difference it would make in our own lives and in the lives of the people around us. We also note that the Apostle Paul starts this verse by saying, finally, which means he's concluding and stating all of the important things now from the past 4 chapters. Finally, he tells us to monitor our own lives based on these principles. First of all, whatever is true, whatever is true. And a lot of times, there are a lot of falsehoods going around, but we don't really want to be involved in those things. Certainly we don't want to repeat them, and we want to stay away from them, because a falsehood can really hurt another person and can damage their reputation forever once the falsehood is repeated. So the Apostle Paul is telling us in our own speech, in our own consideration, consider those things, repeat those things, share those things that are true, not that are false. And that's kind of the foundation of what he's trying to say to us. He goes on and says also to be honorable, which means to be truthful. An honorable person is a person that we look up to. They have honor, they have truth, and they're people that we generally can count on because of their honorability and integrity. The Apostle Paul goes on to say also set your minds on things that are pure. And things that are pure are things that are godly, honorable, true. And if you took the word pure, all of those things would be a part of that. I remember a soap commercial, I think it was for Ivory soap, that it said, our soap is 99, was it 0.9% pure? Yeah, Ivory soap. 99.9% pure. Well, that would be a good goal for our own characters. Hopefully we could be 99.9% pure in our new year. And then the Apostle Paul goes on to say, not only things that are pure, but whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable. In a sense, that's to have a positive attitude. You know, we've all known people that are negative about everything. They just won the lottery and, well, I won the lottery, but I only got $1 million. Someone else got 10 million. You know? They can find something negative about everything in their lives and in their world.
Amen.
But we as followers of Jesus, we need to emphasize the things that are positive, things that are pleasing, things that are commendable. And I think things that are pleasing to people are things that are helpful to them. Things that are commendable are things that help others and help ourselves. So the Apostle Paul is dealing with all of these character traits in a practical way that we should try to apply to our lives and especially to this new year ahead. And he goes on to say, if there is anything excellent, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Those things that are excellent, outstanding, and we can certainly think of so many things that God has done in our lives that are excellent, and we should be the heralds of those things. Tell others about them. How wonderful, how merciful our God is. Those are the things that are excellent, and also those are the things that are praiseworthy. And I believe if we try to develop our characters according to naturally, a lot of the principles of the Bible, that's why we read it, that's why we study it. But Paul has taken a very few things that are so important to our daily lives and how we treat other people, how we communicate with other people, how we think in our own minds as we approach each new day. Now, I know this for sure. If you get up in the morning and you start with something like, oh gosh, what a terrible day. It's raining out, it's cold. This is going to be a miserable day. You're probably going to have a miserable day. You know, my lumbago's killing me, whatever it is. I don't even know what lumbago is, but I've always been fascinated by that word. But if we get up in the morning and are positive, of course, it's easy to be, we have such a wonderful sunshine day today, and I was sitting in my chair and just basking in that vitamin D hitting me from the sun, which was wonderful. But if we try to approach our days with that positive attitude, we will also influence other people. Because we as people don't want to be around other people that are always complaining. That's why you always have to watch yourself when you ask the question, how are you doing? Oh, my lumbago, my arthritis, my whatever it is. And you'll get a long, long, long story, which that's okay. And we can always pray for people who, many people have real ailments. But if we can lend a positive note to someone's life, they're going to remember that the whole day. I've known a lot of people that have said, wherever they visited, certainly not Chicago, certainly not California, but other places where they went, and everybody smiled. You know, you walk by people, and they'd smile and say, how are you doing? How are you? In Chicago, you walk by someone and they're suspicious of you. Are you going to kill me? Have you got a gun? Are you going to stab me? But that's one thing I noticed in the Philippines. Everywhere I went, they call Americans, if they know someone or can tell someone's an American. Charlene thought I was from Germany? European.
But you are.
Well, I am originally, yeah. Yeah, my family's from Czechoslovakia. But I was American, and they would call out, hey, Joe, which is G.I. Joe. I just figured if you're here, you must be in the military or something. But they're always happy people, smiling. They want to come and shake your hand a lot of times. And it's that pleasantness, it's that positiveness that really is contagious. And so I challenge each one of us, myself included, as we proceed through this wonderful year, 2022, and I think it's going to be a very eventful year. It certainly has started out that way. Possible wars, and things happening. There's a lot of events that may occur. But read this verse out of Philippians 4. Maybe read it for a couple of mornings and consider the kind of character and the kind of life the Apostle Paul wants us to build, certainly in the community of the saints, which is you and I in our church, as well as those outside the community of the saints. May God help us to do that.